What is up, car addicts? In this video we'll be talking about this week's Triple Money event week as well as the property and vehicle discounts. This event week is for June 30th through July 6th, 2022 and is mainly themed around Independence Day. In terms of the GTA Plus bonuses and discounts for the month of July, they still haven't updated it at the time of this recording, so I will put them in the pinned comment once Rockstar announces them later today. And from what I can see, there doesn't seem to be a new HSW upgrade available for another car, just like they did for the month of June, so that's quite unfortunate. It makes GTA Plus pretty useless, at least in my opinion. The only reason I personally was using GTA Plus was for the early access to the HSW cars, to get that content out early for you guys, but with no new HSW vehicle for this month, I see no reason to have this subscription. The current prize ride for this week is the Gauntlet Classic. This car is primarily based on the 1970 Dodge Challenger. It has a normal price of about $600,000 and a trade price of about $460,000. To get this car for free, you have to place top 5 in a Street Series race for 3 days in a row. Now usually they put 5-day in a row requirements for these, but 3 days isn't really too bad. But anyways, in terms of performance, this car is in the muscle car class and is pretty average in terms of performance, around mid-pack, around the pace of the Vigero and the Buccaneer. So it's not exactly a fast car per se, but it's still definitely one of my favorite muscle cars in the game, with its styling, customization, exclusive interior, and a great exhaust note as well. It's just an overall really good car in general. In terms of the test ride vehicles for this week, we have the Tempesta, the Zentorno, and the Ignis. And for next-gen console players, we have the Vest 8 as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Now, in terms of the Casino Podium vehicle for this week, it seems to be the same one from last week, which is the Dinka RT3000. This is probably an error on Rockstar's part, or it could be intentional, we're not sure. But if it changes, I will update the new Podium vehicle if they change it in the pinned comment. But anyways, this car is primarily based on the Honda S2000 and has a normal price of about $1.7 million and a trade price of just under $1.3 million. So starting off with the property discounts, we have 40% off the facilities and the upgrades / renovations for them as well. This property, of course, allows you to host all the heists from the Doomsday DLC, plus own exclusive vehicles like the Avenger, Thruster, etc. Next up, we have 30% off the MOC cab, which is pretty nice, but do keep in mind that you do need to own a bunker in order to purchase the MOC. Moving on to vehicle discounts, we have 40% off the Ignis, an awesome car to drive with great performance, being top 10 in the supercar class for lap time, but it's definitely a bit off the pace of some of the top vehicles like the Emirates and the Krieger. Moving along, we have 30% off the Tempesta. So this car is in the supercar class and is a very nice car to drive with great handling and acceleration, but unfortunately it does lack a bit in terms of top speed, which is why it's not more competitive in that class. Next up, we have 50% off the Zentorno. So this car is directly competitive with the Tempesta in terms of lap time, and it's a lot cheaper as well, with a better top speed on top of that. So on most tracks, the Zentorno will beat the Tempesta. If you're a relatively newer player in game, and you're looking for a fast car in general on a very low budget, the Zentorno is a very, very good choice. Moving on to the Severn San Andreas website, we have 100% off the Sovereign motorcycle, a very cool bike with the American flag livery on top of what is essentially the police bike. Moving on to the Warstock website, we have 50% off the Liberator monster truck. Remember that this is a Pegasus vehicle with no customization. And lastly, moving on to the DocTees website, we have 30% off the Tugboat. Personally, I find the Tug pretty useless, mainly because of how slow it is. However, it's still pretty fun to mess around with, putting cars in the back and stuff, messing around with your friends, but definitely not worth this amount of money, at least in my opinion. In terms of login items, you can get 100,000 GTA dollars just for logging in this week, which is pretty cool. In terms of free items, we have the Patriot Parachute, which is nice. In terms of miscellaneous discounts, we have 50% off the Independence Day themed clothes, weapon tints, etc. In terms of triple money, we have triple money on select land races, which is pretty interesting. Next up, we have triple money NRP on the Running Back Remix Adversary mode, and triple money NRP on business battles as well. Plus, for the business battles, the beer hats and the Statue of Happiness t-shirt are back for those business battles this week, so make sure you guys try to get some of these rare items this week. In terms of double money, we have double money NRP on Lester Contact missions, which is great for relatively newer players who don't own a business yet. It's a great start to earning money. Moving on to the Prime Gaming discounts for Prime Gaming members only. So again, same as usual. The only thing we have is the usual free $100,000 for logging in during the event week period. And lastly, this week's RC Bandito time trial is Construction Site 1. This week's normal time trial is Elysian Island. I highly recommend a fast car such as the Pariah or the Italia GTO, or of course one of the HSW vehicles if you're on next gen. In terms of the premium race for this week, we have the motorcycle race Boots on the Ground. I highly recommend either the Shotaro or the Hakuchu drag for this race, and if you're on next gen, you only want to be using the HSW Hakuchu drag. And lastly, for next gen console users, the HSW time trial for this week is North Chumash. As always, the HSW Hakuchu drag will be the best one for these. Every Friday I post a guide on how to easily beat all the time trials, so stay tuned for that if you're new. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, I'm gonna have to go with the Zentorno. At this price, this is an absolute steal for a car that's this fast, and also remember that the Zentorno has no rear window, so the back end is bulletproof, which can assist in helping you complete certain missions as well. Anyways guys, hope this was helpful. Overall, I think it's a pretty decent event week, but obviously nowhere near as good as the one we had last week. That was an amazing event week themed around tuners. This one's themed around Independence Day, but it's not really all that great. There's barely any discounts, and I think we could have maybe had some discounts on a lot of American cars. That would have been pretty cool, you know, Coquette D10, Hellfire, stuff like that. But they just kind of gave us some randomized discounts here and there, especially the Pegassi ones. Those are kind of random. The Sovereign and I guess the Liberator were kind of cool, part of the event week theme, but the other ones were just really random. And in terms of the bonus money this week, so double money, not really all that great. I think a business would have been great for this event week, like the Bunker or something, but unfortunately we only got some races on triple money and Lester contact missions and business battles. It's not really all that great. I really hope next week is a lot better, but as we're approaching that summer DLC, I guess we're going to start seeing the event weeks kind of decline in terms of quality. That's usually what happens as we get closer to a DLC. But anyways guys, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.